Hey guys, Jakub here, and today I want to share with you insights and lessons from 5 years of running custom software agency Deltologic. So it was 5 years, and actually as a bonus I can say that I'm turning 27 years old next week, just before recording this video. So I have a lot of reflections on my mind, and I thought this is just a great time to record this video. We'll talk about insights, lessons, advice, fuck ups, pretty much, yeah, just some of my thoughts from the last 5 years of running the business. The points that we will be talking about today are team management and leadership. Here I just want to say that I made a lot of leadership mistakes, from hiring wrong people to trusting too much without having a proper structure around that. The founder role evolution. So over 5 years I went from coder to marketer to salesperson, HR person. Pretty much I've done it all. So I want to talk a little bit about it here as well. Sales and client acquisition. I have a couple of points here to make. In short, in B2B sales, trust is everything, and no one sells better than the founder. The secret triangle that we've actually discovered some time ago, I think around 2 years ago, product, services and knowledge, how they all play together. So we've built a self-reinforcing system where content drives services fed into the product. We'll be talking about the consistent action which leads to the long-term results. Most days are boring, but pushing forward every day compounds to something big. Then the last 2 points, I will give you some advice, especially for people just starting out. We will be talking about starting as early as possible, ignoring the haters, about the impostor syndrome and concept of waiting till you are ready, because business is just a different game than a standard career. And in the end, I just want to give you a bonus from me, something I've realized, and I've been going deep in that over the last years, which is mental health and balance. In short, you can't grind forever. Burnout is real, and taking care of your mind is the best long-term investment you can do. So stick with me and let's jump to those points. 5 years, half a decade. What a journey. Damn it. If I just knew. It's crazy. 5 years of running company, lessons and reflections and everything. First of all, team management and leadership here. Let's talk about a few factors. Something I've learned, something you can get out of this video is don't trust that much to other people. I've actually trusted people too much and didn't really apply enough control. And that led to many mistakes, especially last winter. We actually fucked up 2 projects due to one developer. We actually fired him pretty much because I wasn't really checking, controlling, and I trust too much. It actually led to a catastrophic outcome. I will be talking about the finances more, but I'm just saying that, hey, you should definitely apply better processes, better control, and validate the work that you're doing before it's too late. That's something I can just tell you as a start. Of course, I'm fully aware that it's my mistake and my responsibility as I'm the one facing the client, but I just wanted to mention this. So always define your task clearly, because otherwise it can cause chaos and frustration. Always provide your team with the right tools. They are speeding up the game. They are changing the rules, especially right now in the AI revolution area. We actually tested multiple coding AI tools like Cursor, and it increased the productivity like this by at least 30-40%, as we are checking now hours and tasks and ClickUp system. So that's something that I've learned. I hired wrong stuff, wrong people. I had to fire them. There's a saying, hire slow, fire fast, and I can fully relate. As soon as you have some suspicions, validate them, check on your teammates, check if they are actually delivering the work as you expect them to deliver, and don't hesitate with the decisions to fire the staff. So your company culture pretty much fits and stick and is the same. That people are alike, they have similar mindsets in your whole organization. One of the challenges is also when you are a founder to be a strong leader. I don't want to say that I didn't have enough drive all of the time, because clearly, I couldn't say, yeah, it was my mistake. It's always a challenge. It's always a challenge to direct your company vision right, share your vision, communicate well, and be the leader. This is definitely a challenge. This is something that you need to work on a daily basis. And I can clearly say that over those 5 years, I had ups and downs, and it's just a journey. Today, we end up in having almost 30 people, solid team, crazy engineers, great project managers, designers, editors to YouTube videos. But yeah, it took me 5 years. I don't think this is something you can know from day one. This is also a process. So that's pretty much about the team management leadership. Just a few things that I can share. Now, the next thing I want to share with with you is the founder role evolution. If you were watching some of my older videos, you probably may know me from being the coding guy, sharing my journey on Instagram, YouTube video tutorials. This is pretty much even before starting the Deltologic custom software agency. Clearly, my role in a company changed, and it changed multiple times. In the past, my biggest passion was to code, to deliver projects. I could even code like 10 or 12 hours straight. I actually loved that. Now I haven't touched the code for last year or something, or even more. So that's pretty much one of the sacrifices or the evolution that you have to do. When you're a founder, when you're building company, you are wearing many hats. Here in this case, I was developer, project manager, salesperson, marketer. I was working in operations and in administrative tasks. I don't know if I can say administrative, like, invoices, contracts, government contracts. I've been product owner, especially for the newest product that we are releasing, Datado, the AI for Amazon sellers. I've been doing HR, I've been recruiting people. So that's something you need to be prepared for if you are starting a company. To be fair, I kind of knew that it will happen, but yeah, I was clearly not prepared for this. So some of the roles I wasn't feeling the best in. Some of the others I felt better, especially the marketer one. Like I pretty much love talking to camera, recording the content for you guys. But I'm just saying that if you are there, you either hire great talent, but if you don't have the budgets, you pretty much are on your own and you have to do a bunch of stuff on your own. So even if you're starting your AI automation agency or custom software agency, you're a freelancer, you still need to do marketing and sales and the administrative tasks. This is kind of a base. So you always need to see how much of the effort of your free time you can spend for each of those positions. So just switching the hats. Now, over those 5 years, we've built communities like Agency Dudes. We failed those communities. I mean, in the end, we closed ones. We definitely will try to push it back in the future, as this is definitely my passion, to teach other people how to build companies like this. We just are releasing the new tool Datado. I'm super excited about. We've successfully created the Amazon SP API course, also digital product, a YouTube channel, Instagram channel, and of course the whole foundation Deltologic. I mean, I'm definitely proud of this one. So yeah, in the end, I've done it all. If you want to start a company, you need to do it all, from sending invoices to speaking to conferences to coding. That's pretty much the founder role evolution in your company. Now let's talk about sales and client acquisition. Here are some insights, tips and tricks. What I've learned over those 5 years, and also I've created a few videos at this point about marketing and sales in the B2B sector, especially on the custom software development. The most important thing is that trust is everything, and there's no better salesperson than a founder. Pretty much if you're creating your company, you're selling the most. People are buying because of your experience, because of your content that you're putting out there. It's much easier to actually sell under your personal brand than a fresh new company that no one knows about anything. So I feel like first, and I also covered it on one of the videos, there's this evolution of a company where you're going from a freelancer to custom software agency, but you are building it on top of your projects, and at one point you are replacing yourself with other freelancers or employees, and that's where you're delivering your projects as a company and building your company reputation. But still, even after those years, we never managed to hire a salesperson and a custom software agency B2B sector. Even after 5 years, it's me and my co-founder Kris that we are selling. But one thing I've learned is once you sell a project, start building it, finish it, and then if a project manager is actually responsible for this, he or she can do the upsells, can do additional upsells on the project while talking to the client, writing down the requirements, upselling. That's possible. So once you close one project and you continue the development, the maintenance, it can run on autopilot with the right team. But I'm just saying that from my experience, having another team member that is doing sales, it's very hard. I've also talked to many other founders of big software agencies, and every time I heard that the best salesperson is actually the founder, and that's the founder bringing the most amount of clients, keeping the best relationship with the client. So that's something I've learned. And the other thing is that some deals, they can take months, they can take years. I think one of the biggest projects that we've closed took us around 2 years of work to close, and I'm talking about meetings in person, follow-ups, presentations, stuff like that, pilot projects. So keep that in mind when selling, that you always need to create perfect first impression, perfect offer, because even though you may not close the project right now, you may close it in the future and you may actually start working with the prospect that you're talking with. So that's something I've learned. Now, something I've learned, and I think I have it also in one of the videos here, is that content and teaching people, so educational content, educational marketing, especially on YouTube, is the best source of leads through the personal brand, through the company brand, like pretty much both of those. We've tried cold emails, we've tried advertisement, we've tried even like cold outreach through going door to door, conferences, recommendations. Actually, recommendations are pretty well, always working, but yeah, something that generated us the most amount of leads, I think at this point those are thousands. This is YouTube content that educates people and teaches them how to actually solve the issue. And then if the issue is actually much more complex than something you taught them already, they want to work with you. So that's something I've learned. It's a game changer, and now we are using this strategy as well to sell our first digital SaaS, Datado. We just created a new YouTube channel, Datado, and we are sharing some content around that. So let's see. Now let's talk cash flow and financial strategy. Well, I've never studied finances. I've never read any book on finances. Everything we've done is pretty much with trial and error. But something we've learned very early on is to save as much money as possible. Even though we saved so much money that we are stupid enough to pay crazy taxes to the government just because our company had pretty much profit that we didn't manage to spend or even pay ourselves because we just were too scared. We always were prepared for the worst scenarios. And now when over those 5 years, those scenarios actually happened, they happened a few times, but the last one I just mentioned, it happened in Christmas time last year. We burned almost whole, we call it cash pillow, right? So I feel like if we didn't have this money, we would fail the whole company and crush it. So that's something I can tell you about the finances. Always keep some money. I feel like you should keep around 2 or 3 months of the run rate of your company, right? So all of your expenses and your bank account. So if you have no income for 3 months, you can still hold your company and don't fire anyone. So that's pretty much something I've learned over those years, and we continue to operate like that. And if you stick to this principle, of course, you may not have the fastest growing company, crazy investments, but at least you are safe. And for me, peace of mind is something that I care the most because I've been burnout before multiple times and I don't want to get back there. So always having this money bank account helps us to stay calm pretty much and do our job. The next thing that we discovered is something I like to talk about on this channel, about like various predictions and ways of building custom software company, especially the one we have, so custom software agency / software house. On one of the videos some time ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I mentioned the concept of going through the freelancer to productize services in the same niche to then building the product. Now I think I have a full picture and I would add one thing. So it's pretty much like a triangle, which is so funny because triangle is actually our logo, Deltologic. But we keep the services, we keep education, then we have the product, and they all pretty much work together. What do I mean by that? We created the services around custom software development for Amazon sellers. We've created a lot of content on YouTube, educational one, and the product, digital product, so Amazon SPAPI course. Now, if some of our clients searching for the problem, they usually go here from this educational part. They want to use our services, or the other way around. They are using our services, they want to do something on their own. We send them to the content pillar / paid course. Then we just added one thing, which is the product, and this pretty much works in a similar way. They are watching educational content, they want something to do with that. They may use our services or the product that's actually doing one particular thing. Now they are using the product, they want to learn something more, they go to the educational pillar, or they want to build something on top of this project with the AI services, then they go to our custom software company. So this is pretty much our triangle, I call it, right? Where we have all of the pieces working together as one. So this is kind of the perfect way of building a tech company nowadays. And yeah, the whole backbone of the company is strong content pillars. So YouTube, LinkedIn, emails like newsletter, staying in touch with the community. That's pretty much how I feel like successful companies are being built. Let's talk about consistent actions and long-term results. Finally, I have 5 years of actual action and results. And I can say one thing, the most important part of the business is actually showing up every day, being consistent, even though you may have super unproductive days. I literally had so many days where I spent like 10 hours in the office, and in the end I went home and I said, I literally done nothing, but I showed up and I pushed stuff a little bit. If you just keep pushing your stuff every single day, except weekends, although I recommend to show up even on the weekends in the first 1-2 years, then you are actually going forward. You're actually making progress. There are days where you do crazy pushes. There are days where you just do slight pushes. There are days where you feel like you've done nothing, but trust me, if you're just showing up, if this is even just one email, it means something and you are actually growing and you are actually going further. So yeah, daily progress compounds over time. Pretty much I call it a snowball effect. Now let's jump to the section on advice for people who are just starting. Don't be afraid for hate. So if you stand out, people tend to actually criticize you. They will probably talk behind your back. I know it from experience, and actually it happened for me multiple times in my life. First time it actually happened when I was around 12/13 years old. I actually wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to record games like Let's Plays. They were pretty popular back then. I recorded a couple of videos, and yeah, I was super young and people were at school were laughing at me. I deleted everything. Unfortunately, I kind of regret it now. But then years later, I did the same thing with programming, and the same thing happened. People started laughing at me. I had quite a few haters. No one actually could say anything to me right in my eyes, but they were kind of, making fun in the back. But yeah, I was just doing it. I was just pushing through, and this worked out pretty well. I remember I grew my Instagram account to around 100K followers. I got a lot of sponsorships. That's pretty much where I started a custom software agency, freelancing. And this is where it led me here today. So after hundreds of videos, thousands of posts, I'm here. So I can just tell that don't listen to haters, just fucking do it. Don't be scared. It will work out, I promise. And of course, here I can say that, of course, not all of the people are like this, and I had a lot of I was fortunate enough to have a lot of friends who actually supported me, who mentioned to me multiple times that they keep their fingers crossed for the company, for our projects, clients. So it's very important that if you have close friends, family who is supporting you, that you stick with them, because every support is super important. Now, entrepreneurship and starting company is clearly not for everyone, but I can say that if you're actually thinking about it, start now. Like literally just fucking do it. There is never good time to start it, and the earlier you start, the better. I feel like from all of the career paths, entrepreneurship is like completely different. Some people say, I actually met a lot of people who said, hey, I want to first get experience. I want to work a corporate job for 10 years, then start something on my own. But trust me, of course there are some cases that people did it and they done it successful, but I just want to say that if you start earlier, then it's better. Like if I think now, I actually started when I was 21, 22, and now I'm turning 27, so it's been 5 years, and the amount of stuff that I've learned only by just doing business, in many cases random stuff that I thought is very useful, it brought me and it taught me so many things that I could never get this experience just by working as a programmer at some other company. So if you are thinking of starting your business, you should definitely do it now. There won't be better time to do that than now. And if you fail, you can always find a job. That's something I always keep in my mind, that hey, if something fails right now, if I lose pretty much all of my money and everything, I can always go and find a job, because what you do here usually 4 or 5 times more than you would do in a normal job, in a normal position. I'm also not talking about being a director somewhere, because that's pretty much also a lot of responsibility. So yeah, you should treat failure as a lesson, not something that you should be scared of. And I can also say something from my learnings, that doing business at the same time, 5 years, it's just 5 years. It completely changed how I see the world. Like if I go anywhere on the street and I see a shop, I see, I don't know, a fence or a sign or something, like whatever, I always think now, hey, there's a company that actually got this contract, that there's a manufacturer, there are workers who actually put it here. There are a lot of those business processes that led this thing to be here, and I always now think about this and pretty much everything. Even like in television, when I see the advertisement, I completely have different point of view on how I see it. I really look what words are being used, what kind of techniques of marketing are being used so they actually can sell this product to me. So yeah, that's something that actually, if you do business long enough, you'll start seeing more and more often. And it's pretty good because you really start to understand how world operates more and how everything works. The last thing I want to mention is mental health and balance. I actually come from the background of being extremely, like, I think even I would say toxic productive. I've been into this extreme hustle culture where I said no to pretty much everything. I was just locked in, work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's how I was operating for 2 years. It actually brought me a burnout, not only the single one. I remember I was waking up, I was super stressed, I was sweating, and I really don't want to get back to those days. So definitely work-life balance is super important, especially you should prioritize your health. I could say that back in a few years back, I watched some guys like doing Adderall, working 15 hours a day, and I said, hey, that's pretty cool. Why wouldn't I try that? But now if I think about this from this perspective, that's just ridiculous, and you're literally prioritizing work over your health. But like, if your body is not in the right condition, and if your mental is not in the right condition, how the heck are you going to operate? So definitely now I can tell you that you should prioritize a healthy lifestyle. I'm talking about sports a few times a week, weight heavy weights, go for a run, or like pick your own sport that you like. I'm actually doing sport 4 to 5 times a week, meeting with friends, having dinners, but also I feel like when I started earning like some first serious money, I've watched too much of the movie Wolf of the Wall Street, and pretty much I thought that this is how the business really works, that hey, those people are earning money, then they party like crazy, drive exotic cars, meet crazy women, and I was really living this. But then I realized that I felt extremely empty, and it was all super shallow. So also those people that you meet in those restaurants or clubs, they are not for your friends. Those are not meaningful connections. So if you're actually now in a position where you started earning some first money, or that's the thing that motivates you, you should definitely change your priorities, because this is the road that actually leads to nowhere, and you will realize it sooner or later. So that's something I can definitely share here, that the best happiness I found through my family, through my friends, through meaningful connections, from healthy lifestyle, for sports, hobbies. So yeah, travel. And it's actually crazy for me now to say that, because now if I go back a few years, I can't even think about it, but I had completely different mindset. So yeah, that's something that's definitely something I can share after 5 years. And one more thing I want to share is also that therapy really helps. I actually am in a therapy for almost 3 years now, and this is something that also like completely changes everything. You actually can't even realize how many of the things could be broken in your mental health or comes from your childhood because of some bad experiences, and can be actually solved and worked on during their therapy. So I can definitely recommend this. I feel like therapy and healthy lifestyle and meaningful relationships with people, this pretty much adds up together and leads you to the happiness. And on top of that, it actually makes you super productive and makes you love what you do. So especially if you're building company, this is a marathon. This is not like a short sprint. You should really work on those things. And I can pretty much confidently say that if this foundation is right, it will actually lead you to the success in your business. And I can also say something that my father always says to me, especially when I was working too much. He said, hey, the work always will be here. So if you need a break, take a break. That's something I can also share with you guys. So yeah, that was pretty much 5 years. I know I wasn't going very deep in like sales or marketing topics that much, or like topics about actual business. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts, lessons, insights, reflections. I'm actually recording those videos from time to time. They are pretty much also working as some kind of memory for myself from the future. So if you actually found this useful, make sure to subscribe, like the video. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys, about those reflections, about those videos. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.